What's up, guys? This is Corey with the Dirt City Gym. I'm back with y'all with another deck profile today. Today we're going to be looking at Lurantis, Solgaleo, or Steel Magnolias, as I've been calling it. So I've got an article written about this particular deck over on our website. If you're interested in reading the article as opposed to seeing the video deck list, feel free to do that. I will put the link down in the description. But other than that, feel free to give us a like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. But moving into it, we'll just get right into the deck list. So we'll get to our primary attacker first, which is just Solgaleo GX. 250 big, fat, just ridiculous Pokemon. It's got the ability Ultra Road. Once per turn, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. It's super similar to like Rush In or Stand In, things like that. Then it's got the attack Sunsteel Strike for 2 steel and a colorless. It does 230 damage, which is like a whopping 230. But then you discard all energy attached to Solgaleo. Still amazing as an attack. And then it's got the GX attack, Soul Burst GX for 1 metal. Search your deck for up to 5 energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Just stupid bounces that up. If you can get this off on turn 2, just set your board up for the rest of the game. It's just nuts. For the Solgaleo, because it's our primary attacker and does a lot of our setup and things like that, we're running a 4 Cosmog, 2 Cosmoem, and then 3 Solgaleo line. Just so we can try to be as efficient as possible and optimize getting out Solgaleo as quickly as possible. Next up in the deck, we've got 2 Lurantis GX. So how Lurantis works, 210 HP. It's a stage 1. It's got the attack Flower Supply. So for 1 grass, it does 40 damage. And then you attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to any of your Pokemon. Works really well with the Solgaleo. Kind of synergizes with the Solgaleo's Sunsteel Strike, which removes all the energy. So next turn, you can Lurantis Flower Supply, kind of get that Solgaleo built back up. Works really well. It's got the second attack, Solar Blade, for 2 grass and a colorless. It does 120 damage, and then you heal 30 damage from Lurantis. In this deck in particular, we're not going to be using that very often. If we're having to use Solar Blade, we're probably already in an awkward position anyway. And then finally, it's got the GX attack Chlorocythe GX. It's for 50 times, and it does 50 times the amount of grass energy attached to Lurantis. Again, really, if we're resorting to have to Chlorocythe as opposed to Soul Burst, we're probably already in a bad spot anyway. So it's not really one of those that we really want to get into very often. We're running a 2-2 Fomantis Solgaleo line. A Fomantis Lurantis line. Lurantis is really there more as kind of a backup and support. We're not really using it. I mean, the damage is fine. It's not bad. It can help clean up for what little Solgaleo doesn't one-shot. But generally, most of our damage is going to be done with Solgaleo. Next up, we're running 1 Genesect EX. Genesect serves a couple different purposes in the deck. It's got 180 HP. It's got the ability to Drive Change. Once per turn, you may return to your hand a tool that's attached to Genesect. It's really good for conserving float stones and things like that. You can put the float stone on the Genesect, stick them where your hand away, put the float stone back in your hand, or any kind of combination of that. So it's really good. Also, being that it's a basic, it's really our only basic attacker with the exception of Shaman. So you get caught up in a situation with like Glaceon. Genesect can deal with Glaceon, and it one-shots Glaceon because it's hitting for weakness. It's got the attack Rapid Blaster. For 3 steel energy, it does 100 damage. And then you can remove steel energy, and it does an additional 20 damage for each steel energy removed. It's really the only basic attack that's dealing damage that's not requiring us to lose energy. So in a pinch, it's not a bad option to have. And then finally, we're running just 2 Shaman EX. Just not a lot of explanation going into Shaman. Setup's an amazing ability. Get those explosive turns and things like that. So moving on to those trainers and supporters and stuff like that. First up, we've got 2 lovable. This just helps us find whether it be Cosmogs or Fomantis or even a Cosmian. kind of get our pieces together. We're only running 2. That's probably a safe number. Next up, we've got 3 Max Potion. Max Potion is probably one of my most... it's probably one of my favorite cards in this deck. So it heals all damage from one of your Pokemon, and if you do, you discard all energy attached to the Pokemon. It works really well with Solgaleo. So with Solgaleo, you Sunsteel Strike. Usually you're one-shotting just about everything. And then on their turn, they bring up a Pokemon, and typically they're going to be attacking into Solgaleo. So what's really cool about the Max Potion is you can Max Potion onto the Solgaleo. You've already lost your energy because of Sunsteel Strike. Then you're healing off all that damage. Then you just Ultra Road, put the Solgaleo back on the bench, bring the Lurantis back up, Flower Supply, and load back up on the Solgaleo and do it again next turn. So it helped again. And even with the Solgaleo or the Lurantis, we're only attacking with 1 energy. So if you ever need a Max Potion off the Lurantis, it's never really a bad thing that you have to worry about. So it's pretty good, strong, pretty good for the deck, I think. Next up, we've got 4 Rare Candy. So Rare Candy is really our go-to and how we're getting out Solgaleo on turn 2. Obviously, we don't want to evolve all the way up, unless we absolutely have to. Rare Candy gets us past that. So if we've got Rare Candy in our hand, and Solgaleo in our hand, and Cosmog on the field, we can drop the Rare Candy and then straight up evolve into Solgaleo as soon as turn 2. Which is really good stuff. Kind of really gets us going. Next up, we've got 2 Super Rod. Just kind of help us get back our resources. Pretty standard stuff. Next up, we've got 3 Trainer's Mail. Again, we're needing different pieces at different times, whether it be the Rare Candies, Ultra Balls, Level Balls, whatever. So that kind of just helps us get through our deck and find all we need. 4 Ultra Ball. Pretty standard stuff. 4 VS Seeker. Again, pretty standard. 2 Lysander, 2 In. I'm also opting to run 1 Professor Kukui. As we talked about earlier, Sunsteel Strike's hitting for 230, which typically is going to one-shot most things. But if you're ever up against the mirror match, or another big GX, whether it be Decidueye or things like that, we're always going to be just a little bit short from taking those knockouts. So Professor Kukui gets us that extra damage. We're also with the advantage of also drawing the 2 cards, which is never bad. So it's always a good, just like a one-of supporter in a deck like this. Next up, we've got 4 Professor Sycamore. Again, not a lot to explain. It's the best draw supporter. And then finally, 2 Floatstone. Even though we've got the mobility from the Ultra Road, if we're in a spot where Hex or Garbodor is a thing, Floatstone helps us keep our Lurantises able to get back to the bench so we can get the Solgaleo up and deal our big damage. It's not bad to have. We're running 5 Grass Energy and 6 Metal Energy. Just gotta give our attacks powered off. But that is pretty much the deck list, guys. Again, generally what we're doing is we're going to load up out of Solgaleo, start dealing stupid amounts of damage, retreat back to the bench, and get the Lurantis and start rinse and repeat. Every 2 turns, you spit hitting for 230, taking one-shots everywhere. A really strong deck. Once it kind of gets in those rhythm, and you get the kind of a loop going, it's really difficult to deal with. Really difficult to stop. Between that and Max Potions and things like that, I mean, you're just hitting like a truck. You get the HP like a house. And you just heal off everything. So it's just a super great combination. But other than that, guys, that is Lurantis Solgaleo. Let me know what y'all think about the list down below. Again, feel free to check out the article over on our Wix website, which will be in the description. If you're more into reading as opposed to actually seeing the physical deck list. But other than that, guys, I will see y'all next time.